Hello, hello, this is Mr. Case, and this is 28.3a. 28.3a. The United States was not involved in developing a lot of colonies, but that does not mean that they were not engaged in imperialism. Remember, imperialism was empire building. Latin America was in their backyard, and Latin American nations struggle in the years following independence from Europe. They struggle in the years following independence from Europe. That's in the early to mid 1800s. Landowners grew wealthy at the expense of peonage. Yes, you heard that right, peonage. Landowners grew wealthy at the expense of peonage. Peonage. And it has nothing to do with peeing on people. It had to do, peons are almost like serfs. They could never really break free of the land because they owed a debt. So landowners grew wealthy at the expense of these peons or these serfs. Social and economic development was slow in Latin America. Social and economic development was slow in Latin America. And I use the phrase out of the frying pan and into the fire. These poor people, they broke away from Spain, but their own people began to oppress them economically and socially. Who are these folks? Well, the only folks that are really able to take power are caudillos. These are military dictators. Military dictators. Now, why were they able to rule? Well, reformers are usually overthrown by caudillos. Reformers are usually overthrown by caudillos who had the backing of the military and landowners. That's the reason. Reformers usually overthrown by caudillos. Anybody who really wanted to give people democracy were overthrown by these caudillos who had the backing of the military and landowners. So they had wealth on their side and they had guns on their side. So little democracy existed. Little democracy existed, if at all. Voting was reserved for the wealthy. Voting was reserved for the wealthy. Can you see where this is heading? Really not an experience of democracy at all. One-crop economies developed. One-crop economies developed. You've ever heard of banana republics? This is it. They grew one crop and they grew only that crop and they depended on it, which was not a good risk. Raw materials exported. Raw materials were exported like bananas and sugarcane and rice, and finished goods were imported. Raw materials were exported, finished goods were imported, because quite frankly they did not have any factories to make stuff. They were only producing raw materials. So there's little effort to become self-sufficient. Little effort by these Latin American nations to become self-sufficient. And that's not good. Self-sufficient means you don't need anybody. They borrowed money that could not be repaid. They borrowed money that could not be repaid. Who'd they borrow it from? Spain, Portugal, Germany, England. And that's not a good thing. They borrowed money that they could not repay. Foreign nations then threatened to take over facilities by force to collect the debt. Foreign nations threaten to take over facilities, or even the nation, by force to collect the debt. Hey, you owe me a couple $1,000,000, let's have it. You don't have it, we're going to come in and we're going to take over your land. It's almost like neo-colonialism. They'd been there before. And so economic imperialism develops. Economic imperialism develops. Oh, we aren't going to take your land over, but that's what's going to happen. And could they justifiably do that? Well, foreign nations still have strong armies, and they threaten to bring them in to collect by force the debt. So economic imperialism is going to develop. Do you think the United States is going to let European nations come into the Western Hemisphere? Oh no. Heck no. So next time we talk, we're going to see how the United States keeps European nations at bay and yet collect money. This is 28.3A and Mr. K's. We'll see you down the road. Bye-bye.